The old saw used to be you buy straw hats in the winter and you buy fur coats in the summer. Well, we've got a gentleman who tells you when to have dates, when to buy ketchup, when to fly, when to buy a car, when to buy a house. Whew! It's all in this little book by Mark DiVincenzo. So let's have a look at what he says.
Do you know the best day of the week to buy groceries? How about the best time of day to schedule surgery? Do you know the best day of the month to make an offer on a house? Author Mark DiVincenzo says timing is everything. In his book, Buy Ketchup in May and Fly at Noon, Mark shares the best time to buy this, do that, and go there. He says his timing tips will help you get more for your money, maximize your time, take better care of your health, and make smarter career choices.
Well, you couldn't ask for anything more intriguing in this particular recession era that we're living in, and it's good to have Mark with us. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Thanks, Pat. Great to be here.
Thank you. What's this? I mean, Terry says she's out of dating now for some unknown reason. So it's been a few years she wouldn't recognize it if you saw it. What's the best time to go get a date? I'm not in the market either. What?
Noontime is the best time for that.
Why?
Our moods are better at that hour. If we're at work, we're thinking about lunch. You know, we're no longer thinking about work, and that's a good time to ask someone out.
So you say, would you like to go have a delicious dinner with me tonight?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what about this ketchup stuff? You say buy ketchup in May. Why?
You want to buy ketchup in May if you want to save money. May is the start of picnic season throughout most of the country, so grocery stores will lower the price of ketchup, mustard, relish, these sorts of things, to get you in the store so that while you're there buying those discounted items, you'll buy other things that you wouldn't have bought otherwise.
Is there a philosophy in all this, Mark, that you found some overriding principle, or are you just catching each particular thing on account of demand?
There's some logical things at work here and some that are not at all. One thing that shocked me, though, was there is a best time to do just about everything, or to buy just about everything, or to go just about anywhere. And if you know the best times, you can save more money, make more money, spend less time in lines, just live smarter.
How much money would you save if somebody's following your book? Say this guy's making $100,000 a year. Well, what would he save, do you think?
You can save anywhere from 50 cents on that bottle of ketchup to tens of thousands of dollars if you know the best time to buy a car or a house.
All right. What's the best time to buy a car?
November and December are a great time to buy new cars.
Why?
And when I say new, I'm talking about 2010s.
Okay.
The 2011 cars have been sitting on lots now for a couple months, sometimes 3 months. And the people who own these car dealerships, they want to get rid of the 2010s now and make more room for the 2011s.
So what kind of a deal can they give you, what do you think?
You can save literally thousands of dollars on a 2010. Not so much on a 2011, but again, the later part of the year is a great time to buy a new car.
What about houses?
Houses?
Yeah.
It's great to make an offer on a house early in the month. The reason is someone who's writing a mortgage check, they're probably due on the 1st or the 5th of the month.
All right.
They've just written that check for a house that they no longer want or can afford.
All right.
So they're very receptive to an offer early in the month.
Well, what about groceries? It looks like groceries just go along all the time, but are there different times to buy groceries? We mentioned ketchup.
Yeah, well, the best day of the week to buy groceries, I think, is on a Wednesday. The store sales start on Wednesday. The shelves are more likely to be stocked on a Wednesday. The stores are more likely to be well staffed on a Wednesday. And then you got those coupons from the Sunday paper.
All right.
You take them in on Wednesday, and I think that's the best day.
Well, what about negotiating? Is there any best time to negotiate when you can really drive a bargain?
Well, it kind of depends, but I think if you're talking about negotiating a pay raise, maybe?
Yeah, all right, let's make it.
There are people who study this, and they say that Thursdays and Fridays are the best day to negotiate a pay raise.
Why? The boss wants to go home?
Well, that's part of it, yeah. We're in a better mood on Thursdays and Fridays. We're thinking about the weekend. We're thinking about spending time with our loved ones or our friends.
Yeah.
And we're more receptive to negotiation then. And also, you hit on something. The end of the day, late afternoon, again, we're in good moods then. We're thinking about a home-cooked meal. We're thinking about seeing our kids, our wives, and so we're more open to negotiation later in the afternoon.
I'll tell you an example here at CBN. We were negotiating for some kind of a business loan. I forget what it was, financing, but it was Christmas Eve. And our guys didn't want to leave, and the other people couldn't wait to go home. So it was kind of like, okay, if you want that, we'll give it to you, we'll give it to you. It was unbelievable, the concessions that our people got, because people had to go home for Christmas Eve.
Right. There's actually a tip in the book.
Yeah.
The best day of the year to put an offer on a house, and it's Christmas Day. Real estate agents, many times they won't, they're not willing to work on Christmas Day, and that's fine. But those who are say that when they put in an offer on Christmas Day, it's very often accepted. People are in good and generous moods on Christmas Day. And again, it's in the winter. They probably have their house in the market because they're very eager to sell, or else they wouldn't have it in the market then. And Christmas Day is they hit a home run.
How about operations? Can you negotiate on when you get your gallbladder taken out?
Well, oftentimes you have no choice on that, but if you do, first thing in the morning is a great time of day to have an operation. The operating room nurses and doctors and surgeons have told me that this is the one time of day where they're all on the same page. The operating rooms are clean, they're staffed, no one's been delayed by any other surgeries. So if you have a choice, ask for first thing in the morning, whenever that happens to be at your hospital.
Well, I think that's going to... The worst thing you need is a ragged-out doctor who's done 4 surgeries ahead of you, and his hands are starting to tremble.
Exactly, and that's what the surgeons told me.
They did say that.
If they had a choice, they always would pick first thing in the morning.
First thing. Any other tips that people ought to be aware of?
Well, the book is just chock full of all sorts of tips, and like I said, there's not a scenario in which there isn't a best time to do something.
Okay.
We could go on, and I think that we're getting to holiday season.
Yes.
One thing that surprised me in the book is the best month of the year to buy champagne is December, when the demand is highest. And you would think that would be a bad time to buy it.
You sure would.
But there's such a great competition going on between the champagne makers, and in the stores, again, will lower the price to get the person in the store so that they'll buy other full price items. That was one thing that surprised me. It defies logic, but a lot of tips in the book do.
Buy ketchup in May and fly at noon. This is available where books are sold, yes?
Pretty
Amazon.
much anywhere. You can
Amazon.
go to cbn.com as well.
Okay, cbn.com. Mark DiVincenzo. Man, Mark, this is very interesting. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Pat. My pleasure.
Best wishes.